Hello, my name is Lucy and I will be discussing the lifespan theory. The lifespan theory, or perspective, is an approach to studying development which emphasizes that development is lifelong, beyond childhood and through adulthood. This is a limitation which the theory has, since it involves all age periods, including adulthood. As stated by Paul Baltes, the lifespan perspective is change in behavior throughout the life course from conception to death. The lifespan theory also states that development happens in 3 sets of causes. First is normative events, which most people experience around the same age. Some biological events are things like puberty and menstruation. Normative events can also be programmed by society, like marriage and pregnancy in the 20s or early 30s. The second set of causes of change includes non-normative events. These are events that don't usually happen to everyone, like teen pregnancy, a job loss, or even becoming a superstar. Lastly, we have historical events, which affect age cohorts. Age cohorts are groups of people born in the same time period who share historical experiences. For example, people who were teenagers in the 1990s got to experience life when internet use exploded, or children in elementary school during the COVID-19 pandemic experience online classes and studying from home. Another example mentioned in an article by Carla J. Thompson is that almost half of homeless veterans in the U.S. that are over the age of 51 are baby boomers and are veterans of the Vietnam War years. One of the most influential theorists of the lifespan perspective is Paul Baltes. He was a German psychologist who received his doctorate degree from the University of Saarbrücken in Saarland, Germany. He was also a psychology and human development professor in Europe, and his published books were awarded. Most importantly, he was the director of the Center for Lifespan Psychology at the Max Planck Institute for Human Development. Baltes' approach on the lifespan perspective was based on the ideas that development is lifelong, plastic, contextual, multi-dimensional, multidirectional, and multidisciplinary. Baltes states that in development, change is always happening, it is not stationary, and that no age period is more critical than another. Development is also plastic, which basically means that the mind is capable to change and to adjust when we grow up. Next, lifespan development is contextual, meaning that a person's setting, environment, and what surrounds them will affect them. The way a person interacts with others will be different between a child with a loving, nurturing family and a child who has been neglected his whole life. These influences are based on the normative, non-normative, and historical events. Baltes believes that development is multidimensional, and he divides this into 3 parts. Change happens biologically, for example, gaining weight or growing taller. Cognitive development has to do with a person's knowledge and thinking. When an individual is older, they might not process the information as fast as when they were a young adult. However, they might have more knowledge on a topic or have lived more experiences they could talk about. Finally, social-emotional development has to do with our relationships and our feelings. The way we feel about education might not have been the same when we were in kindergarten or 2nd grade compared to being in college. We also value different things at different ages. Baltes then says that development is multidirectional. For example, your health may decline as you get older, but your social-emotional development might be better than ever. Development is also multidisciplinary, which means that multiple disciplines helps us understand the human development. So how do we see lifespan theory in action? Well, we can see this in the way children interact with others. For example, a child with a loving and nurturing parent is most likely to have friends, and building relationships with others may be easier than for a child who has always been neglected and not gotten the attention and affection needed from a young age. Their social-emotional development for both of these children was affected by their parents' parenting styles. The next 2 are examples of non-normative events. Let's say a child becomes a pop star from a young age. Their social-emotional development is influenced by fame. This child is able to speak and perform confidently in public and with others, which makes it easier for them to interact with adults and create relationships. In Africa, being a child soldier can be considered a non-normative event, which also affects the child's social-emotional development. If all a child witnesses is war and violence, they are likely to portray disruptive behaviors and even violent behaviors, which makes it hard for them to socialize with others. I think when a child soldier experiences these events, there will also be trauma affecting their development. Overall, the lifespan perspective supports social-emotional development, since it is developed throughout life. Different skills are learned in different stages, and all the events, good or bad, shapes us and the way we interact with others.